Here are 13 3D printable accessories for your bike or e-bike, and we're going to be reviewing this Himiway cruiser. But I'm assuming a number of you have bicycles, or maybe your kids have bicycles, and you have 3D printers. So let's talk about 13 really cool and useful 3D prints that you can easily run off and print in one day to help accessorize your bikes. Now, one of my favorites has to do with the way that you actually store your bikes to save you space. And since this Himiway cruiser has a fat tire on it, I needed a fat tire solution and I couldn't find one. However, I found this amazing file over on Printables that I customized to actually fit the width of this fat tire. I printed everything that I'm going to be showing off today in PETG, and I was able to mount this on my wall, and now I can directly store this bike vertically, which now saves me a ton of space, and it's nice and secure and not budging or moving when I actually put it on up there. And the original file supports a wide variety of different tire widths, so it's perfect for your kids' bikes or even your own bike. And I've remixed that file and shared it over on Printables so that if you have your own fat tire e-bike or just a fat tire bike, you can go off and print one of these for yourself. Now, the e-bike that I'm using comes with a rear tire cover there that is going to help protect any mud from slinging up when you're biking. However, if your bike doesn't have one of those, there is this file that you can run off and print, and it's literally like a, 15-minute flat print that you can just throw in your pocket or a bag that you might be wearing. And if it starts raining or is muddy when you run out, you just hook this on the back of your bike, and it's gonna help protect the back side of your body from mud splashing up. And you can obviously print longer variations of this as needed. It just hooks into place and you can easily remove it when you don't need it anymore. Another extremely quick and useful 3D print are these cable clips. Now, the Himiway Cruiser has cable clips that come with this to help manage the wires coming off of the handlebars here. However, if your bike doesn't, these are great quick print options. I think these were all of 10 minutes to print a bundle of them over on one of the Bamboo Lab X1 printers, and they work fantastic. I even have one set of those clipped onto the two cables coming from the display screen on this e-bike. Now, if you want to give your bike a little bit more flair, there are a ton of different options for valve stems that you can run off and print and then replace on your bike, or even slide over top of some of them there that allow you to, again, just create a little unique accessory there that you can slide onto your bike that just helps personalize things a little bit more with your favorite thumbs up, or in this case here, those devil horns. Now, I'm super paranoid about my bike getting stolen, and I'm sure you are as well. So there are a number of different Airtag 3D printable options for your bike, depending on where you want to store these, like underneath the seat, or in this case, mine is hidden perfectly behind the rear brake light. This is a fantastic and again, quick print option to help secure your bike and make sure that if anybody steals it, you can keep track of it. You know all those extra toothbrushes you probably have laying around in a drawer somewhere that your dentist gave you? Let's put those to good use by printing a practical print that allows you to easily clean your bike chains with this toothbrush holder device thing. It's actually pretty awesome. It just requires 3 toothbrushes that you snap off the heads, then insert and then screw in, or you can glue down the front plate, and then you can go off and start cleaning your bike chain. Now, I know this probably isn't the best idea in the world. However, I like to ride a bike on a really flat, long trail, and I want to be able to watch YouTube videos while I'm riding my bike. So I went off and 3D printed this phone mountable option for your bike. It prints in multiple pieces, and I think all without supports, and is easily assembled, and it does require 2 bolts to secure everything in place. And it seems to work really well, even when I'm going extremely fast on this e-bike. So one thing I wanted here in the studio that you might also find you need in your house is a dedicated place to store everything that goes with my bike. So I went off and not only printed that vertical wall mount, but I also printed this helmet hook option that I can mount on the wall to then store the helmet. And what's great about it is that it's not going to scuff up the wall when I hang the helmet on there. However, there are so many other variations when it comes to hooks for your helmets and storing them wherever you need to store them. And while not entirely necessary, I also wanted to add a decorative piece to this area that I was going to be storing all my bike stuff in, but I found this decorative wall art of a mountain bike that I went off and 3D printed as large as I could on one of my biggest 3D printers, and I ended up splitting the file into two so that I could print off it in black as well as in this purple shimmery color, and then mounted it on the wall, again, just as a little decorative piece there to add to my bike ambiance. Now, if you have an e-bike like this Himiway Cruiser, you have a key that's more than likely used to detach the battery for charging for your e-bike. Now, the keys, I was super concerned with that I was going to end up losing these, so I found a little bike keychain that I went off and printed just as a visual indicator to help let me know that these, in fact, are the e-bike keys, not to be confused with any of the other zillion keys that I have around here. And I also went and hooked those up on the same wall area so that I just don't misplace those. And I'm gonna try my best to keep putting those back when I'm done with them. Now, one issue that I have with this Himiway Cruiser e-bike, that's I think the same issue with a lot of other e-bikes, is that because there's the battery there, you have no place for a water bottle holder. However, I found a universal water bottle holder file that I went off and 3D printed. It prints without supports, and it's such a wild file that you're able to run off and print. And I was able to side mount it there on the Cruiser, and it works perfectly. Definitely something to consider and to look into, regardless if you have an e-bike or a regular bike and you don't have a water bottle holder. Now, this next one is super practical and really easy to print and is perfect for all of you e-bike owners out there that has an illuminated screen and you like to bike in the evening. It's this little slide-on plate cover. This fits perfectly over the Himiway screen, and from what I understand, this also might work with some of the other screens because it's semi-universal, so definitely worth checking out, but it works so well, and there are a few different options on there for what might be open up. Now, this last one's specific to any of you Himiway Cruiser owners like myself. This allows you to replace the wooden board on the rear rack with a 3D printable grid that I think looks so good in black paired with the black paint on this Himiway Cruiser. I'm still not sure which one I prefer more because I really do like the wood look of this. However, that all black grate on the back just looks so nice. And the bike that I've been using all these 3D prints for is the Himiway Cruiser. It's my very first e-bike, and in fact, it's the very first bike that I've had since I was a teenager. This bike took all of maybe 30 minutes to assemble before I was able to get it up and charging and ready for my very first ride. And yeah, since this is an e-bike, you're gonna be charging it up every once in a while. However, I think it's only about every 45 to 50 miles that I've ever had to go off and charge this. Now, I'm not running off and pedaling on crazy hills. I'm not gunning it 90% of the time. I'm actually using the assisted pedaling mode, which is going to help propel you with the electronics here on board along with my pedaling. So not only am I getting a really good workout, but it's also moving me along pretty quickly. As an example, I'm in the assisted pedaling mode here. I'm going about 10 miles per hour and I'm in the 5th gear. Again, getting a nice little workout while moving relatively quick. Now, I can bump this up in speed and it goes quite fast here once it kicks into the 3rd gear. And it's also a 7-speed gear shifting bike, so you can shift up or down in gears to add more resistance or less resistance as needed, or you can just use it as a regular bike as well. It goes pretty dang fast. I think it tops out somewhere around 25 to 30 miles per hour. You're really moving. Also, the Cruiser's sporting the fat tires, which are perfect for this trail that I like to go biking on, but also work just as well on the pavement. Those fat tires also work pretty well in the winter as well when I was able to ride that around in some of the snow. Now, I'm 6 feet tall and weigh 210 pounds, and the Cruiser easily supports my weight when riding around with no issues whatsoever. However, I do have that seat vertically maxed out as much as it possibly will go to support my legs and the length of my legs when I'm pedaling, and I still can't fully extend those. So if you're over 6 feet tall, that's something that you need to consider, that you might need an extension bowl or something like that for the seat, or just deal with the fact that your legs aren't going to be able to fully extend when pedaling. Another issue I have with the Cruiser is that it emits a loud humming sound regardless if you're using the e-bike functionality or just pedaling unassisted. It's not super loud, however, it's definitely noticeable, and I don't know if this is something that's common with all e-bikes or if it's just a one-off that I'm seeing here. Also, with the assisted speed settings, I wish there were a few other sub options there. There are currently 5 options that you can toggle through. And after you you get through the second one, it bumps up drastically in speed. So I wish there was almost like a 2-mile increment in between each of those to help progressively boost you up versus going full blast once you're into 4th or the 5th gear. Now, I don't know much about e-bikes and the pricing of them. However, this one is relatively expensive, coming in at $1,400. However, there is a coupon that you can use down below that will save you $80 if you're interested in ordering this one, or there's a $150 coupon for some of the other Himiway bikes linked below as well. I should mention that Himiway's not sponsoring this video. However, they did send the cruiser over for me to review and share with you all today. And I'm hoping this helped you find some cool 3D printable accessories for your bikes. And if you're interested in more information about the Himiway cruiser, again, I'll have links to those down below. Just want to say thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye now. This thing goes so stupidly fast.